Hello.
Hi. I'm going to wait like 1 more minute to see if anybody else pops in so they don't miss the beginning of it. But I have you all muted just so there's not, hi. Kids popping into meetings is my favorite. Okay, we're going to get started. Just so everybody knows, this session is being recorded. So if that means that you want to keep kids off of camera, or you want to keep your video off, or change your name or whatever, the point in it being recorded is that for people who couldn't join us live, that they can watch these sessions later, and they'll be posted in the West Valley Homeschool Social Network group and West Valley's newest homeschoolers. For those of you who I don't know, I'm Melissa Lee. I'm the secretary of the West Valley Homeschool Foundation, which is the parent organization of West Valley Homeschool Social Network and West Valley's newest homeschoolers. Our point in doing these show and tell situations is that we were going to have a curriculum fair this spring, but obviously those plans got kicked to the curb. And the way that we were going to do it is that instead of vendors coming in, people who their point is to sell you curriculum, we were just going to have members of our group talk to you about the curricula that they use. Come in, bring their books, bring their instructor guides, bring everything in so that you can see it and you can talk to them, and they can tell you what they like about it, what they don't like about it, how it works for multiple grade levels, like whatever you want to know. I have found that talking to people about curriculum that way is fantastic. It really helps you get a feeling for what it's like. At park days, we have had people bring their curricula to the park so that other moms could take a look at it and see what they're doing. But because we can't get together right now, and this is the time of year when people are looking at curricula, trying to figure out what they're going to do for next year if they're looking to make a change, and because we have an influx of new homeschoolers, either by choice or by COVID, we wanted to make sure that people have the opportunity to still do that. And so today, Patricia is going to talk to us about math seeds and reading eggs, which she really likes. And so I'm going to turn it to her, and she will have things that she's going to hold up to the screen to show you, and she's going to screen share. So if you can change your computer to speaker view, which means that she will take up your entire screen instead of you seeing the little tiles for each person, that will be beneficial for you. I am on a PC, and for me, it is up in the top right corner of my screen, the toggle between speaker view and gallery view. If you have questions throughout, go ahead and just unmute yourself and ask. Don't worry about using the reactions of raising hands and stuff like that. Just unmute yourself and ask your question. I have everyone muted right now. So Patricia, you'll have to unmute yourself to get started, and let's just go.
Hi, awesome. Well, hello everyone. I know a couple in here, but a lot of new faces, which is exciting. If I could ask first, if you guys in the little chat, if you could just put your child's age, that way I can kind of see like what you guys are kind of working with as far as age groups. I will screen share reading eggs first. So this is the main screen after you have logged in. And I have 2 kids that are in the program, and they can make their own little people. So you'll see that kind of change sometimes. And so there is a Reading Eggs Junior, which is from ages 2 to 4. And so this is what keeps this is like the parents platform to where you can look and see. So let me go to like Gabriella and like one that she's actually in. It will keep their scores. It will keep like what age they're reading at, their skill set, their skill levels. So I really like that. The one part that, you know, I didn't like is that doing like with other program is that if they messed up on one, to be able to have them like go back, I can't clear it from here, but your kid can go back when they're on their map. So if I go into Gabriella and I start her, so say if I saw down there that she did a test on reading eggs that she didn't do very well, she can actually go into her, it's called a map on here. So see, she's completed all the courses. So this normally this will say a number under here for whatever map number that they're on. So if you click on it, this is them being able to go to their map. They can actually go back. So she can, you know, go back to this lesson. And she can click on it. And she can go through and redo things, which I liked. So I'll show you a little piece. So then it's really, really interactive, which I really loved. And visually, it's been really great. I mean, I have more visual learners. So being able to click through things, really bright colors, it catches the eye. But after they do a lesson, so say after they finish one, let me go back to their little menu. This is their menu. There's so many things, like even things we've just even found this year that they have added. So there's like Storylands, which Storylands is another set of levels, but it's more reading based, like more book based, where they will read a book and it'll go through them, and they'll be able to create, at the end, they'll be able to create a story. Sorry, it's like loading. So what I've done, so typically what we do is these also have, let me go back to the teachers so you can see each of their level. If you go to bonus materials and you go to activity sheets, I didn't go to activity sheets. There we go. All of these have their own sheet. So reading eggs, if you scroll down, so like say the lesson that I clicked on was like 118, it actually has a whole set of should be reading eggs. There we go. That was a color. So they have one in color, but that was a lot to print because I print out all of these sheets. So here's the black and white, but I really like, so it shows you, it tells you the Common Core standards. It tells you what they're going to learn or what they're supposed to get out of the lesson. So you can kind of see, I'll go a little slow through this, and it shows you, so each worksheet, it tells you its phonics, its word family, vocabulary, and it'll tell you what is supposed to be taught to the child. And then here's all of their worksheets. So if you have a kid that's super visual learner, or also one that like needs like textile, needs to be able to write things down to kind of grasp a concept, this has, I found that has been really great because it combines both of them. So normally my kids would do the lesson on the map. So they would go to their reading eggs, they would go to the lesson on the map. Once they finish that lesson, that's like their teacher teaching them, then they would come and they would do the worksheets that go along with it. So then here's like the worksheets that go along with it. And then after they do a worksheet, I need to be able to get to the other tab, but it's underneath the share screen. Ah. Sorry, it's like under the share screen. Okay. So after they would do a lesson, they would be able to go back into their like portal, I guess you could call it, like their dashboard, and they could do some of the other fun things. But I really love is that even the so-called like reward fun things are all really learning also as well. So there's like drive test, sight words, letters and sounds, content words. So I like that they also put in a good difference of gender too. So like stuff that would go more like girly or more like my daughters love cars because of their dad. So like this really was enticing to them because they're like, oh, we get to race and they're learning. So they really loved these. So then they would click on the right one and their car would go. So then they would like get excited and they would do it next to each other on their iPad and see who could finish the little circle fastest or faster. Any questions so far on, am I going too fast? There's so much on here, so that's why I'm like, I want to make sure you get to see all of it. But they have so many things on here that they can do. Their spelling also has worksheets that go along with it. So, and I'll go back to that screen to print out. But so their spelling also for each level of spelling, it has a worksheet. And so what we just started doing when they first started reading is I just made flashcards with like all of the words on them. And so they did reading eggs level, then they did the reading eggs worksheet, then they would go back and do something fun like the driving or reward, and then they would do spelling with then another worksheet, and then we would do practice with the note cards. And so I'll show you like one of their.
Hey, Patricia, you have a question, which is, do you have to print the worksheet or is there a workbook?
There's not a workbook that so sorry, this is talking. So Reading Eggs recently has now come out with workbooks, like in general, just workbooks that you can go and buy, but I haven't looked and see if they actually match the lesson. So the worksheets that are online actually go with each lesson. It just continues. It's basically a little continuation of what that lesson was online, where the workbooks are like, there's a phonics workbook, there's letter writing workbook, to where it's just more broad of a subject and not geared towards the actual one that they did online. But so it's like really interactive. So this is their spelling. So like, you know, I forget what it asked because I skipped the instructions, but so I think it's what's spelled incorrectly. So I have to figure out what's spelled incorrectly. I just love how interactive it is. I'll go back to, there's Story Factory also. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on here that they can do. So Story Factory is, you can make their own book. And this has helped my creative daughter who loves reading, and she just wanted to start making stories on her own. So you actually can start a story on your own, and at the very end you can print their story out, and then you can cut them, like, so they print out kind of small, and then we just cut them. I wonder if she has hers. But we just glued them to paper, and then now she has her own storybook that she made, and then that's something she really loves to read at night. and that got my older one, because my older one is very math, like she excels really in math. But her seeing her younger sister make those and like read them, she got really excited, and so she started making them as well. So kind of fun that it kind of helps you to figure out your child's learning strategies and what works for them, because it does have so many different types of strategies here. They also have where they can go to the library. So our library is here. So under the worksheets, there are, you can see, so there is, so this is for reading comprehension. So in the top, it will have a book up here. And then this will be a, so this is normally 2 pages. And this is to help with reading comprehension. It has a little bit of a snippet of the story. But what I like to do, instead of just having them do the worksheet, I'll actually have them go to the library and find the book. So they go to the library, and then you can go to search. And then so this book, what do I need? And then they pick the book, and then I'll have them read the whole book. So they'll get to, it says go read the book. The book will actually even have a quiz throughout it. So they can, and they can have it either the computer read to them. So like for younger grades, the computer can read it to them, and then it'll read the questions at the end. Or you can turn this off, and then it'll just go, and your child can just read it. So they go through it, and there's a quiz. Sometimes in the middle of like some of the chapter ones, there's a quiz in the middle, or there's a quiz at the end. And then normally my girls would take the quiz. They would take the quiz, and then they would be able to go back to this, because there's a little snippet here of the story, and you should be able to answer the questions just with the little bit that's here. But I've found that they just have a much better understanding of the whole story if I have them go and read the book first. Any questions with that? Quiet. Is there anything in the comments? I forgot to look in the comments.
And the worksheets that you just showed in the binder, those are all just printed from the website too?
Yeah, so I'll just go back.
Okay.
So bonus materials, activity sheets, and then so these ones, these are the higher level, is Reading Express. So Reading Eggs is from grades 1 to about like 2. So it takes you to about 2nd grade. And then Reading Express takes you kind of beyond that, like more reading comprehension. So these are all the reading comprehension lessons. And then underneath there is the spelling ones. So then there's spelling. And this goes all the way up to 6th grade. So like we still will use now how our system is, now that they're done with Reading Eggs, because I'll show you Reading Eggs is only, it's only a map. So it goes about 2nd grade-ish, depending on, you know, I mean, Common Core technically like 2nd grade. But once we finish the whole map for Reading Eggs, then we moved over to something else for reading. We do treasures now, but I still do, so they'll do that for treasures, but I'll still do the reading comprehension and spelling through Reading Express, because that goes all the way to 6th grade. So we can just still keep incorporating that in.
Are they all under one subscription, or once you finish Reading Eggs, do you need to get, is it a different subscription to do Reading Express?
Yeah, so I pay for all of them. So it's about 70 something a year for both kids, for Reading Eggs, Reading Express, and Math Seeds. Yeah, which I mean, for a subscription, like I feel like that like, you know, $80 for a whole year for 2 kids, that's pretty cheap compared to like our teaching textbooks and our other stuff that we have. I will just go back really quick to their portal. So again, the parent one is, this is your family dashboard. So this is the parents dashboard, and you can click on each kid and you can scroll down and it'll tell you. And so you click on each of these tabs. So for reading, it tells me her reading level, tells me how many words, because she's completed all of the things, so that's why it's 200 out of 200. You'll see the smaller numbers as they start. And then you can see all of their like test scores like down in here. And if there's one that's lower, then I'll just kind of make them go back, because I like to see like 90s and 100s, sorry. And then like their math seeds. So then math, same thing. So the driving test, these are those little tests that I showed you with the driving. It'll tell you what they've got out of them, which, see, this is my reader. So see, her math is definitely a lot lower. But if we click on my other one, her math, I'll have to go through and look. But you're able, Fast Phonics is new. We just started playing with it. It just came out this year, like not even like a month ago. I think they brought it out for COVID. But this has been fun. It's just more games with just more phonics type stuff. But it makes them go quicker. Just like quick, like kind of almost flashcard kind of way of learning, you know, where you just like, what's this word? What's this word? So it goes pretty quick. Click on the.
And it was automatically included in your subscription?
Yeah, it just came up a little bit ago.
I can't hear the sound on that video. Like, it's being shared to the screen, but I can't hear the sound of the video.
Okay, sorry. I'm glad you told me. But so Phonics is really new, so they've been actually playing with it the past few days because I kind of wanted to see what it was all about. But it's kind of like that quicker, almost like flashcard learning, which they've been having a blast with that. But so these are all the tabs, and you can check on their progress. Then you can have them like go back to a lesson and change it, or you know, redo it however you feel like whatever you guys want to do. If I go into one of the girls again, and Math Seeds. So Math Seeds is from age 3 to 9. And typically from like when I matched it from like core what Arizona standards are, finishing Math Seeds brings you about like halfway through 2nd grade, because there's a little bit of like fractions and stuff towards the end. So I'll show you like so let's see, can I go to the lessons now that she's completed them? Yes, so like level 200. It's like area of stuff. So I really like the videos. I don't know, you probably can't hear them, right? Okay. But I like, and you can go back in their maps. So you can go back to any of the levels that they've done. And if so say if one of my girls have done the lesson on the computer and then they came to the worksheet and they just really struggled, and I would help them like with the worksheet. But if they were just really struggling, then sometimes we would go back and like go through the lesson together. because then that would also help me kind of see, okay, what are they teaching, or what, you know, what kind of strategies. And so some with reading or with math seeds, they did do some of the what's the new math? Oh my gosh, just slipped my mind. What's that new math, Melissa, that everyone?
I don't know. We're old school.
Yeah, but so what's the one that the controversy, the like, is it Common Core math? No, what is it called? Where like they do the big boxes and like all this extra work.
Oh, I don't even know. I know what you're talking about because I've seen like videos of it and stuff, but I don't know that it has a name. Is it just Common Core math?
Is that, I think that is called.
Maybe that's just it.
But this will do some of that. It will like take the tens out and you'll add the tens and then add the ones unit. And so that if your kid doesn't learn that way, I would just help them get through the lesson, and then we would just do it the way that we wanted to on the paper, where like when they're adding double digits and stuff and carrying and borrowing and stuff, they didn't do that as much in this. So that's something to know for others who may not want to do it that way, because we're old school too. We like to borrow.
So you feel that this math is more like the Common Core math, or those videos that we see, that is not the way that we learned it, but this newfangled way of doing it?
Not all of it. There's just a certain section that was like when they were adding double digits, they were like, pull the tens out, add the tens, then add the ones, and where it was like, but then now your ones might be 8 and 7, so now you have 15, so now you have another 10. So then it was just a longer way of doing it, but that was only a small section of like when they first started adding like double digits and stuff. And then the rest was like area and measurements and all of that other stuff in math, which was totally fine. That was the only one that the girls were like, they're telling me so much stuff here on the lesson. They would be able to get through it because they, you know, the way that they teach it, it's really easy to come up with the answer. But then when they got to their paper, my youngest was like, this is too much work. Like, I'm writing too much. And so they would just do it the old way.
You have a question in chat, which is, does math also go through 6th grade?
Oh yeah, so math said up to age 9. So let me go back and show you the worksheets.
So 3rd-ish, 3rd or 4th.
So for math seeds, it's just a map. So it just goes up to 200 on the map. But when we click on the child, it says age 3 to 9. So reading eggs 3 to 7, the fast phonics is 5 to 10, and then 3 to 9. And then you also have, so reading express is the age 7 to 13. So that's the one that goes the highest to 6th grade. And that's the reading comprehension, how to write. So it's like goes into when we're talking about making a storybook, it talks in there about having like an idea and then main ideas. So like how to create a story. I can see in the chat.
Yeah, another question about whether or not there are answer keys, like for the worksheets for parents to check against.
Yes, so unfortunately there hasn't been. The worksheets don't, except for math has a little bit. I'll show you a math one. Oh, I have to log out of her thing. Oh wait, that's reading. So math does have just the explanation. I thought in the older version. So this is from 0 to 200 for the math seeds, all the printed. Yeah, it doesn't have the key. But I mean, it only is second grade math, so it's not, I mean, too difficult. Maybe for some, I don't know. I'm a math person, so it made a lot of sense to me, but it doesn't have a key.
Patricia.
Yeah.
Can you
Hey, Kristen.
show us anything on the Reading Eggs Junior side of it? Where
Yeah.
I see it goes from ages 2 to 4, and I have an almost 2-year-old. I'd like to see a little bit about that as well.
Yeah.
And then there was another question in chat. Did you do this as your main language arts curriculum or as a supplement? Was there anything else that you were doing alongside this?
Yeah, so this was our main one up until they finished Reading Eggs, and then now we're doing, now we have, like we use Treasures now, which has, that goes more into like writing and higher levels. But I felt like in the beginning this was enough for them to get really interested in reading, for it to be more fun, especially with my older one who was not interested at all in reading. This made it a really fun way, especially when it came to the being able to create your own books.
And before I forget to ask this question, before we dive into this, about how long did it take every day? How long did they spend between both the reading and math?
Okay. So normally it took only like a couple hours, 3 hours at the most, just with like adding in their like playtime in that, with like the drive test and all the other games in there. So normally what we did is we would do reading. So they would do the reading lesson, then the reading worksheets, and then they would have that free time. And then that would kind of bring us to, then we would like fill in something first, and then we would have lunch. And then we would do math after lunch normally, just depending on the day. But normally like all combined, probably like 3 hours. Yeah. So here's like books. I haven't played with this in a long time. Oh, the girls have been, there's different languages on here. So you can go to all the different, these are like different types of books, or different, so like these are emotions. These are all of the letters. So there's I Spy books. You might not be able to hear it, but.
How old were the girls when you started on Reading Eggs?
They were like 3 when I started. I just tested them into Reading Eggs. We never really did, they just do this stuff for fun, like back in the beginning. Sorry, I can't see the other half of the screen because I have the, there we go. Hang on, I have to move you guys so I can see the screen. But so they can, it just says I Spy, 6 things with bees. So then normally I would just read it with them. These are people with bees. So there's just a bunch of books on this one. These are farm animals, pets. So you can't hear it, but the computer is reading the book. So those are the books. And then videos. So for these are you can't hear it, but these are like, you know, those like kindergarten, like preschool songs. So all those like fun songs. Alphabet songs, and then like Humpty Dumpty and stuff. So these are like, you can't hear them, but it'll sing the song with like a video. One thing I do wish is that they had the words like as it sings. That would have helped. And then explore the lands. Like each of these things are clickable and they all take you to a little land.
Are there any printed materials that go along with this level?
Not this level. Well, I mean, there is, oh, actually there is a little bit.
That is my favorite parent gate, by the way, the one that says like parents, and then it spells out the letters. If you have an early reader, that is just absolute garbage.
Yeah, because like you just push it together.
Yeah.
But I do like that they can't get out of the lesson and like play around in this little format unless you let them out. So that's a really good thing for like youngers, where you have to put them in, like you have to click into this and then they can't get out of it to like mess around with any of these. So activity sheets, there is, well, there used to be. So they have like these colored ones that are a lot younger.
There's a question in chat. When you subscribe, do you have access to all of the different levels, or are they separate?
No, you have everything that you see is what I've paid for the whole year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, do you pay per kid?
So it's technically per kid, but like it was, I think it's like 40 something a kid, and then you get like 25% off or something the next kid. So it ended up being like 70 something for both of them. Let me go back to like their math seeds. Math seeds also just came out with mental math or mental minute. So this is because I don't know if you have seen that, like by learning quick math skills like quick addition, quick multiplication, that it sets a kid up for higher learning of other math, of like being able to solve a problem easier because like it's already instilled in them, like they already know, like, you know, what's 10 times 10, that's 100, like super fast. So they came out with the mental minute, and so it's just really quick. So this can, one, it can cause definitely anxiety in some, or can help others it go faster. So I've seen both, like for one of my kids, she gets kind of stressed out if she doesn't do it fast enough, where my other, she's like all for it and gets super excited. And I can show you what happens at the end. Even I'm getting like. So then they'll also race each other to see who could get the most, which can also cause issues some days as well. But they like this part. So then they dance. I know you can't hear the music, but like there's really cool music that plays. So mine are very like auditory, very visual. So a lot of this stuff has been really catching for them. And now they're even older. So like I have 7 and 9-year-old, and my 9-year-old, we're going into, she's partway through like 4th grade of math. But these things are still, because emotionally she's still 9 years old. So like these things are really fun for her still. And they have play, so they can, I mean, there's so many things to go on to these. Each of these things have their own little clickable things. They can make food. Like there's just so many things. Like making a cake. Like who would have thought in, you know, in math, but it's like it goes into like measurements and stuff. So it's asking for like 4 of these. So you have to like keep doing it. So that's helped with like, then if they do a lesson on here and they say like, oh, I made a cake on here, sometimes we'll then bring it into our real life and then we'll end up doing it. Like baking cookies. Whoa. So you can like cut them out. I don't know how to play all of these because I haven't played all of them, but. So then they put them in the oven, they cook them, and then you get to decorate them. So if you have a kid that likes to bake, that's a really good one. But there's, I mean, you click on another thing in here, and then it's a whole other lesson. So you have to pick things that have 3s on them. So many things to click on, and it takes you to a whole bunch of other stuff. But I like it because as much as like, especially being in right now, I'd rather them mess around and play with stuff like this than, you know, watch TV or do something that isn't learning. Especially as I'm working from home so much, so it's really nice to be like, hey, go get on reading eggs, because I know they won't have many questions about it. They can just go and just play around and just figure it out, to where that'll give me an hour of, you know, have to be on the phone with a client. So that's been really nice. That's what I loved so much about reading eggs, is that with doing the online lesson with the paperwork, like I will put in their binder for that day, you know, the reading eggs, the reading comprehension, the math seeds, and the spelling all in one binder. And I know that if I have to spend a few hours working, that they can just go through it. And they might have questions like on their worksheets, but you know, at least I know they can go online and just be able to navigate really easily. And each of these are different arcade games. So these were like our rewards, but they're still learning. So I don't even know what we're supposed to do on this, but. I didn't hear the instructions, but I guess you're supposed to match them. Yeah. So you're supposed to pick these up and match. So it's matching. But. So that's arcade, and there's still more down here. Treehouse. So I won't do it, but this is where they can create their person, which is lovely little cute thing that they've made. but so I won't change hers, but so they can create their little icon up here, which is another thing that my girl, it's like a control factor, I feel like sometimes, where they're like, oh, I get to make my person. So that's another fun reward.
That number that is on the acorn, the $64.99, what does that mean?
So this is basically like money in this for when they can go to the shop and they can buy. Everything is sold out. What? Why is everything sold out? I have to ask my kid why everything is sold out. But also in the arcade, you see these cost to play the game. So 10 acorns, 10 acorns. So they have, and to do the arcade, they have to use their acorns. I think some of the costumes in here cost. So the acorns are basically money.
And are they earned through?
So pretty much everything. They're earned in mental minute, you get them. Driving test, you get them. When you complete a lesson, you get them. You get them throughout pretty much all of it. That's why they have so many. Because in the first year, I like wouldn't let them spend it because I didn't know like how long they would last or like how fast they would go. But then after the first year, I realized like, oh, I probably should have let them spend them more because now they have a lot. So any other questions on these? Is pretty much all of these are inside of each one of these has so many things inside of them. Same with reading eggs. Each one of these, so same thing, they have eggs up here. They use it a lot more because there's a lot more things to play in reading eggs. I mean, there's each one of these things that gets highlighted is a different game. So it can be kind of overwhelming for me as a parent because I'm like, I don't know what all of these things do, but I trust that reading eggs has been really a great place for them to learn. And so I'm like, have at it. Like, this is your free time. You can get on reading eggs. Critters is their character. They're called critters. So they earn little critters throughout their levels. So they've collected all these critters from each map. So from each map, you know, the little circle that I clicked on the map to go to a lesson, once they complete a lesson, they earn a critter. And the little critter does a dance when they complete a lesson. I remember when they were younger, like they used to yell for me to come after they complete a lesson so that I can watch the little animal dance. There's songs on here just like on reading, the smaller reading one. So different songs. So all of these, they're just videos of songs. They also have games here that cost eggs. There are a bunch of these games, so it tells you how many eggs it is. I won't click on them because then I don't want to waste their eggs. So house is like the one in Mass Seeds, where it's just a bunch of other clickable things that will then take you to. Oh no, actually, sorry. This is their house. So this is the furniture and stuff that they buy to create their home. So this is all the stuff that she has bought to create her home. So this is her little house. Awards. So you get awards after completing like maps. So click completing each map you get. So like and it tells you how much percent. because in the younger age, it's like after a map, they have a quiz, but then like, I feel like later in the maps, it's pretty much after each lesson, there's a quiz. Like, especially in math, after each lesson, there was a quiz, because she used to get so frustrated that she had to do a quiz before going on to the next thing. But I was like, but you have to. There's puzzles. So. I think this is to get you, at the end, you win, you get all your, it's even as a parent, I'm like, ah.
I feel stressed for you, but you're going to get one wrong in front of people.
Yeah. Like I just did. Wait, what? Uh,
12.
Yeah, I'm like, now I'm like, oh my gosh. I'll just go to the end. Let's see. Okay. That's it. But I mean, if you see, it has so many like different ways of learning, which it's been pretty cool for them to figure out. Some will like, you know, Alicia is more into like the arcade driving ones. Gabby's more into like the songs, and so it's pretty cool to see the difference in each kid and what they like. Story Factory has been really cool. That's something that they learned this past year of like being able, and I just learned that I can print the books, which has been pretty cool. So.
Does anybody have any additional questions about any of the reading programs or math seeds? Either unmute yourself or throw it in chat.
I hope I was able to show, I mean, there's just so much on here.
There is a lot, and we experimented with it 2 or 3 years ago, and it has grown a lot since the time that we were in there.
Yeah, it didn't have all of this even when we first started. I looked back at when we first started in, so it's been 6 years.
Wow.
And they didn't have any of this on the bottom. They didn't have Storylands or Story Factory. It used to just be spelling, drive test. So there's so many things that they have now. But it worked really well. Like if you have somebody that works or somebody who just needs not have to think about it and then just be able to add to it. So like, you know, if their book for reading comprehension was about pirates. So then we would just on our own, like maybe we'd get more books on pirates, and then that would be like our little lesson that is extra. Or if it was about a certain animal, then we would just kind of fill in and add more stuff to just make it even more fun.
All right, well, if nobody has additional questions, then I think we are done here for this morning. Thank you so much, Patricia.
Yeah.
This was really, really
Hopefully
great.
it helped.
And it will, the recording of this is going to get posted in West Valley Homeschool Social Network group and in the group that we created for new homeschoolers, West Valley's newest homeschoolers, for people to check out who couldn't be here with us live.
Yeah.
But thank you for taking the time this morning to show us. I think it was super helpful, and like we just said, it is a program that's been around for a while, but has grown incredibly over the past couple of years, and it sounds like they're even continuing to grow, because you said that some stuff got added in just in the past couple of months, probably as their customer base is growing.
I was just going to comment to Stephanie about the Starfall, because that's what I used to when I taught in school. That's what we used to use, Starfall. And I feel like this has so much more interactive stuff than Starfall. I've liked this because that's what we use. Like at H2, we use Starfall. I don't know if you guys know what Starfall is, but it's basically like video for learning sounds and things like that, where I feel like this has added so much more than that, which has been nice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I am going to stop the recording, and in a sec, I will end the meeting. I assume, Patricia, that you would be fine if anybody had questions that hit them a few hours or days from now, if they just got in touch with you directly?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. Thank you again. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.